Here we have Shaman versus Paladin. Shaman very popular, like we mentioned, and looks like it's not going to stop. And I wonder if Kripp still has this exact same idea as everyone else. You know, we got the mechs, we've got the elementals, and you maybe even have some of those totems in there. Thijs has a couple of nice mid-range cards there with the True Silver Champion and Elder Peacekeeper, but he's also got mechs in Paladin, which is interesting because we don't actually see that kind of tribe put into Paladin class.
Yeah, they do have some like natural mechs with shielded minibot, but
what's that? The Cobalt
Scalebait?
No, it's this
Guardian.
Cobalt Guardian. Yeah, it's like a
5-mana 6/3.
That gives like Divine Shield. I can't remember the exact
Whoa.
effect of it, but
Wait, check this out.
whoa.
Grime Street Outfitter, a hand buff, hits all these cheap minions. This wasn't something I was expecting. Hand buff Paladin is often written off. And if you ever buff with a 2-mana card these days in Hearthstone, it's often because of Prince Kel'Thuzad.
Yeah.
Wow. You thought Shielded Minibot was bad on turn 2.
This is pretty powerful. Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
All
Kripp
Death
opened
Seer
a Death Knight.
Kripp's Shaman deck.
He's got Death Knights.
This is quite interesting, actually. And Feral Spirits is going to play pretty nicely onto this board. Thijs is going to be able to trade over one of them. But it does contest everything and also protects the Mech Warper, which could allow for a powerful turn next turn with a cheaper Micro Machine and Stormforged Axe. I don't mind Kripp's position here. And Thrall of Deathseer could make for a pretty big swing because what a lot of these decks lack is wide board removal.
It's true.
You can get a board full of reasonably sized minions. It can be tough to remove them.
One of the most important things in sealed format that I've come to find in Hearthstone through my limited time of playing it is that area of effect cards are very rare. You might find removal in general, but AoE is a premium. So whenever you're playing Mage, like Flame Strike is really nice. But that's because you're opening packs in those environments. Flame Strike's a basic card, so if you're able to level it up enough, you should be able to have it in your constructed environments as well.
Yeah. Wow, so Thijs picks up Blessing of Kings.
Wow.
Seems reasonable with 4 mana available. Just the trades don't line up too well. Because, I guess you could Blessing of Kings like the Clockwork Gnome, trade over and push damage. But I don't know how much he values that over just going wide on the board and maybe using Blessing of Kings to trade up into a bigger minion that Kripp might play. Because if he has hard removal, that Blessing of Kings could be wasted. But if he waits till he gets to trade up into a minion, then he guarantees that he gets value from Blessing of Kings right off the bat.
I guess it also depends on what kind of role he sees himself being, if he wants to be the aggressor and the beatdown. And it seems like he does. He's going to aggressively stat the Clockwork Gnome, and then he's going to be able to play his 3-mana cards for the next couple turns. Kripp will be able to remove a little bit of minions, but he has Fire Elemental now, so he actually has a couple of strong potential turns here with Fire Elementals, and if he has a big enough board, maybe even go for the Thrall Deathseer.
But there's more power turns for Thijs. He's scaling up the curve pretty nicely. If he gets to turn 7 with a minion on the board for Bone Mare, it's a big swing card.
Yeah, Minibot is super hard to remove. Divine Shield minion's extremely resilient, and you don't have a way to remove it easily.
But he can
Direwolf Alpha is also interesting pickup too. But I have to imagine Fire Elemental is the most appealing play here.
Yeah, you can Fire Elemental the Tinkertown Technician and trade over, and then Stormforge Axe down the 7/2 Clockwork Gnome. So you're left with a 1/2 and a 6/5 against the Shielded Minibot. And you've already seen a Blessing of Kings, so Kripp probably is not too worried about another Blessing of Kings coming out and trading over his Fire Elemental. But actually,
looks like he's going to remove
Divine
Shield. Okay, that was just an interesting sequencing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, is he going to swing at the 2/2 and Fire Elemental the 7/2? But
some next level sequencing. I don't know what just happened.
It's a little bit of a mix up there. The Finicky Cloakfield also is pretty nice to kind of guarantee that you'll have a minion for Bone Mare as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Time Rewinder is also pretty funny, too, because Time Rewinder allows him to set up, like, either another mini-bot with Divine Shield or to save it for Peacekeeper, or even better, to Bone Mare one more time.
And one thing to note, though, is Kripp is going into Thrall Deathseer next turn, so...
Oh, interesting.
He could, you know, play Totem or Stormforge Axe and then buff up this Fire Elemental. Would be an 8-drop. And 8-drops are probably the most powerful slot.
That's huge. That's huge.
In Hearthstone. And he's just going to go for it. Looks like Stormforge Axe
Yep.
to play afterwards.
If you can just stick one minion and keep evolving it, it's going to be massive. Grommash Hellscream, that's a full board clear. And Kripp is going to be able to deny Thijs the Bone Mare. Oh, man. And no facial reaction from Kripp whatsoever.
And the emote comes out from Kripp. Cold-blooded.
Wow. Cold-blooded, cold embrace.
And he's got stuff to back this up.
Ouch.
He's got a Flaming Faceless in hand, as well as Direwolf Alpha. He's going to be able to keep picking apart the board. And now the Finicky Cloakfield is going to come out, and this will guarantee Bone Mare going into the following turn. But is it too late? Did Kripp take too much of a board advantage? With that Grom picked up from the Fall Deathseer in Lightning Storm, denying the Bone Mare once again.
Yeah. Well, Bone Mare can still land on a 1-mana target, but Kripp is running away with this one. He actually has a 2-turn lethal setup.
Yeah,
from 30. Oh! I did not expect that card. Oh, man.
But there is still there's is there any lethal possibilities?
Well, he can at least
in?
trade over and not lose a 7/7, which is important.
Is Argent Commander into Direwolf Alpha? Is that enough?
Well, he needs something to deal 8 damage, and he can evolve it. You can evolve either of these targets, and they'd be viable.
Ice Howl?
Oh, that's
It's 10
right.
mana, isn't it?
Oh, is it 10 mana? I thought it was 9 mana.
If it's 9 mana, then that's a possibility. I can't remember, that card was never played.
Could be right.
Actually, it says not go for the evolve. And
Yep. Just set up a strong, solid board.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Thijs is very dead.
Well, hold on. There's this thing that we used to say all the time back when Pilot Shredder was around.
Doomsayer.
Is that you can go for Doomsayer. And if there's one way to, you know, really end the game against Kripp. Oh, no. It's a great 2-mana minion.
Oh, no.
Wow. Thrall Deathseer.
Nice pull for Kripp, and
I need
he got
to
some
ask.
work done.
I need to ask him. Can we get Kripp and Thijs back on here on the desk? Kripp, I want to ask you, man, what was going through your head as you evolved your Fire Elemental into Grommash for the perfect Bone Clear and denied his Bone Mare?
I think Alakir would have been just as perfect. had the Direwolf for the 4 damage, right?
Yeah.
Had 2 options.
Yeah, so
it wasn't that
expected. Expected.
Yeah, and Ragnaros too. That happens all the time.
Yeah, right. It's true. It's true. So Kripp had a lot of that. I like it. He was thinking about all of his outs and possibilities. Thijs, man, originally we were looking like, man, you know, he's got so many options. He can, like, you know, bounce it back for Divine Shield. He can even, like, if he can get greedy, Bone Mare and Time Rewinder Bone Mare. And it all crumbled. But you seem to be laughing. And I think this is where your teammates winning actually makes it, like, a little bit more digestible, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed the series. It was I enjoyed the deck. I was sad I had some extra surprises in the deck that I couldn't show off. But yeah, it is. It was also cool to see Kripp being on the good side one time. So I'm really happy that the game went his way.
Kripp, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much were you expecting Doomsayer from your Paladin Shredder?
9.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was definitely that would have been the icing on the cake for a silly game. But yeah, thanks for joining us and good luck in game 2, guys. Kripp is up 1-0. Just one more win, and he can at least, you know, cut the losses a little bit for Team Light and send him home. And one thing that's interesting too that we didn't mention, Knights of the Frozen Throne introduces a lot of very powerful common cards that you see: Cobalt Scalebane, Bone Mare, etc. But the big defining thing about the expansion is the Death Knights.
Yes.
And, Thijs said there were some surprises in his Paladin deck that he's sad he didn't get to show. Tyrion's one of the strongest cards that you can have there, so I wonder if he had even cooler stuff, maybe Uther of the Ebon Blade.
Yeah, and with lack of AoE in a limited format,